Satan will be locked up and thrown away. Yes, he will. I said the sun, it's coming up. New day is at hand. Can you see it?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another End Times 4565 video. And I've been a week or so out. I've been really sick, but I seem to be getting over it now. Maybe I can do this without doing a bunch of coughing. Well, sometimes I like waiting, a little bit before I do a video because it takes a little time for things to happen. And I want to talk about something here right now. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the Poleshift. This is a Poleshift video. And so, with that being said, I want to do some explanation on this wave that's coming in. Now, we had a disturbance in 04. We had a disturbance in last year, about this time. And now we have another disturbance coming in this year. That's 3. Let's see, let me count them again. We had one in 04. We had one last year about this time. And we have one more now beginning. That's 3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's a quasar or some gamma burst, I'm not at liberty to debate, because technically speaking, I don't have instruments that can see these rays moving at the speed of light. Now, some of these other people may have instruments that can do this, but I don't have any. And matter of fact, I've contacted all of my friends, and they don't have them either. Even a friend in the Air Force who doesn't have one either. So, it's just not really existent. So, with that being said, I don't really want to go there. But what I do want to explain to you is this. There is a disturbance in our magnetic field approaching. And it has lots and lots of particles. Lots of particles. Small radioactive particles and large radioactive particles. And I'm going to prove this in just a few minutes. I'm going to show you that this is a particle cloud of radioactive material. And in my opinion, it's an approach. It's the beginning approach. It's the roll cloud, if you will, of the incoming object. Now, first thing I want to discuss with you today is this graph here of the magnetic pole shifting. And once again, you see here what I said I didn't want to see, we see. So this tells me not only is the Earth wobble being held in check, being not held in check, but being held into this present orbit, not being able to adjust itself, but it continues to be 12 to 14 days out. 12 to 14 days out comparatively to 3 years ago. Which tells me that whether NAFTA is saying it or not or whatever, the clock is already changing, ladies and gentlemen. And not only is the clock changing, ladies and gentlemen, but the weather is completely off the hook, ladies and gentlemen. Because just the other day we had snow in the Sahara Desert. Snow in the Sahara Desert. First time ever. Unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen. We have increasing amounts of floods, increasing amounts of hailstones, windstorms, water spouts, tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanic activity. Everything that we can think of in this climate chaos chapter is on the uptick. Now, you got to get a grip on this. I know you don't want to, but you need to really think about it. And I have people that watch me, and they look at me and listen to me, and they say, wow, how does he know all that? He's supposed to just be a preacher. Because I study things. I have friends. I consult with professionals. I don't just make things up. I try to bring just the facts, just like right here. This is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And because it's flatlining, this is very, very unprecedented. You got to wrap your head around this right here. Because this right here is really telling us that something big is happening. Because this incoming object is approaching. You can call it what you want. Now, I just came across some disturbing information. I didn't like what I saw. So I'm still examining this information. I have no idea what this means. But when I get my head wrapped around it, I'm going to bring it to you if we have the time. But here's what this is. This incoming object, you call it whatever you want. You call it Planet 9, Planet 10, Planet 12. You can call it Wormwood, Nibiru, whatever you want. And by the way, it's more than one. It's at least two. Call it a black star, call it a dwarf star, whatever you want to call it, but it is approaching. And we are now entering in to the roll cloud of debris. Radioactive debris. You can call it X-rays, you can call it a cosmic cloud, you can call it anything you want. But I'm saying I don't know that it came from a nebula or an exploding star or a quasar. I don't know that. But I do know that the incoming object has a huge particle cloud that it's dragging along with it. And it is approaching. It's getting very close, ladies and gentlemen. Very close, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, it could be just on the outskirts of Uranus. This is where we think it is. Some 20 AU. Right now, we think it's 20 AU out. 20 Earth-Sun distances away. And approaching fast. Now, it had a little problem with Uranus. But it apparently seems to be back on schedule. And the fact that it's free again shows me this flat line. Now, this Poleshift, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you a video from BPEarthWatch. And I hope I don't get a copyright infringement, but it's very important for you to see. I promise, I will leave his link below in the description on this video so that you can go to his channel and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And you need to watch his latest video because he has some very important facts. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't seen anyone refute what he has said. Now, there are some that try to say no, but get your calculator out, do your geometry homework, watch and see what they see, do the calculations for yourself, and you're going to come up with the same information. So, I contacted my expert. They did the calculations, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot refute the information. So, I'm kind of leaning to this timeline. Do I know it to be true exactly? No, I don't. But it's the only person The only place that I know that's gave me calculations that I could render to see evidence. And I want to show a clip of that video for you because it explains exactly in visual effects. Somebody wanted to see special effects. Well, I don't know how to make it yet, but I'm going to borrow some and show you what this Poleshift is going to look like, ladies and gentlemen. Now, trust me, it isn't going to be good, but you need to see it anyway because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be or look like. Now, that being said, let's keep moving. So this is showing us that we got us a flat line going here on this wobble in the rotation. And so now I want to show you something else right here. Now, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the equatorial flux. Now, what it is, it's given to us from two of our satellites, and it's a real-time image of the particle and radiation saturation within our radiation belt. And so, by monitoring this, predictions can be made on the radiation that is going to affect the planet. And I have backed this up some space. I have backed it up, I think yesterday, all the way through today. Now what you have to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is you're going to have to observe, and I'm going to move over here. Okay, you're going to have to observe what happens to the radiation saturation, and we're going to talk about this. If it'll play, which I hope it does. It's loading. Now, this is the hour, and I want you to notice the timestamp here. 22. Here comes some particles, perhaps asteroids. All right, here we go. We had a saturation, a wave, then it cleared out, and then it began to saturate again. It cleared out, and some of this information seems to be missing. Here comes an object. It's cut off. Okay, this is recent as we approach. And I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that this is particles. Particles. Now, let me show you what today looks like. Okay, so this is where I left you before. Now we're going to go from this timestamp to today. Now I want you to please notice these incoming particles. This is going to show, BPEarthWatch said it was a cloud like a fog. And I'm about to prove his point. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take BPEarthWatch, who said it was a fog, a cloud of particles, and prove his point. This, once again, is a graph of the radiation belt. Notice what happens as I advance it forwards. Ladies and gentlemen, we are entering into complete saturation. Now, let's look at the last image. This, ladies and gentlemen, is completely off the hook. This is a complete saturation. A complete saturation, ladies and gentlemen, of radiation particles in our radiation belt. This is the last photograph. This is the last image. Now make no mistake about it. There is something that we're now into. Now with that being said, let me show you this, and I'm going to try to do it without pausing. I don't know how successful I will be, but hopefully successful enough, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to this magnetopause. I want to show you something here, though. Let's get started here. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to add a few frames. I'm going to go ahead. Back in time. That ought to about do it. And I'm going to add another frame per second. Okay, this is a plasma trail. Now watch this trail, ladies and gentlemen. You see it ebbing like a tide. See it in and out. In and out. See it? Like waves. Okay, what you're seeing here as it slowly decreases away from us, what you're watching here is like a wave in the ocean. You're watching the pullback of this plasma field just before a tsunami. Now, a tsunami, before it hits the beach, it pulls the water out as it piles it up. I believe that this particle cloud is acting like this, and as it approaches us from the southern areas, this is not straight back, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually from here and looking down like that. And so what you're seeing is influence from below. As this begins to ebb out, ladies and gentlemen, it's preparing itself for an incoming onslaught. Now, if that doesn't happen, how happy we will all be. This is the latest image, and of course you see the interplanetary magnetic field is continuing to stay broken up, but you see here it continuing to be pulled down into this southwestern direction as the incoming object approach. Now, with that being said, I have one other thing to show you, and then I want to have a discussion about it. Now, this right here is the jet stream, and I want to look at this jet stream, but this is where we are. Now I'm showing you this for a reason. This is where we are. I'm here, and this is Florida, Mexico. Okay. Notice this jet stream right here. It has a huge dip south of the Aleutians. This is Alaska, this is the Aleutian Islands. Notice this huge dip as it's coming up toward the Aleutians, down and back around. Now, pay close attention to that because I'm going to show you something. Notice here how the jet stream comes around and pulls across the southern part of California and Mexico area here. Of course, the equator is completely wrecked, and the southern part of the planet is also completely wrecked, and we're going to talk about that. So you see this right here. Now, I want to show you this, how it's coming up here from Russia and the Aleutians and pulling around. Now, let me show you why I'm showing you that. Now, I'm really having trouble with my computer. I hope I'm able to finish this video. Remember the jet streams coming up and down, and back up and down. I want to show you that because notice how there's absolutely no SO gases on the equator in the southern hemisphere here. But there's a huge area of SO gases. How we know this isn't factory related, because there just isn't that many there. Not like China, where if I showed you China, you could see it unbelievably heavy in smog. But this here is, I would like to believe it to be mostly subsurface volcanic gases. But you see how big this is here as it's being pulled into the Gulf of Alaska, ladies and gentlemen, down here. So the reason for this big blob of SO gases is because the jet stream is pulling it off the Aleutians. So the Aleutians right now are alive with SO. And so the reason is because the Earth is heating up, ladies and gentlemen, and these are volcanic gases that are piercing the surface. As fault lines begin to creep open and the Earth begins to feel the pressure from inside building, these SO gases are going to continue to increase. We see in Southern California, there's an increase of SO gases. And we see that the New Madrid fault line is continuing to get darker and darker in SO gases. And, of course, South America. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. The Earth is telling us, that it's having trouble. You don't believe me? Check this out. This is Earthquake 3D. This shows us our latest earthquakes that have happened on the planet. This is the last day and a half. And, of course, the green one is the most recent. And I'll get it for you to see here. You can see it there in Alaska is the most recent earthquake. And here's what you need to see. You need to see that the depths, as you can see, the further away it is from the planet, the deeper it is. Notice the depths here in Alaska, and here in Oklahoma, and here in Puerto Rico, and here. Listen, they're beginning to get deeper, deeper. Why? Because the southern part of our Earth is under tremendous pulling pressure. Remember, this incoming object is like a huge, unbelievable magnet, okay? And we are operated by our inner magnetic field. We're a motor, and the armature is inside the planet as the core. Okay, now this huge magnet it is approaching, and it has all these other particles that are drawn into its magnetic field. And as it approaches, it begins to pull on our planet. It begins to pull on our magnetic field. It causes us to heat up because it's fighting against the magnet. And so as it approaches from the south, which the underside of our planet, which is why everyone's going to Antarctica, you know what I mean? And, of course, there's another news story there that there's a huge crack on the continent of Antarctica, and it's soon to break away. And it's going to cause a iceberg the size of some state in the Northeast, Massachusetts or New Hampshire or something. That's huge. That's unprecedented. So, the southern part of our planet is being rocked. Now, here's what you need to see. Notice the depths of these quakes on this side of the planet of the Ring of Fire. They are continuing to hammer in at unprecedented depths. These depths here approach the core, the magma. Now, with that being said, this is just the last 3.0 and greater, and the last day and a half. Now, let me show you the evidence. It's not 30 days, not 60 days, not 14 days, I want to show you what's happened in the last 7 days. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that the southern part of our planet is under extreme pressure. I'm not an earthquake specialist, nor am I as smart as Dutch sense, perhaps, but I don't have to be really sharp to see that this and this and this, ladies and gentlemen, is an issue. Increase in quakes, in size. The ring of fire, ladies and gentlemen, is crawling like a snake. You understand that? It is in trouble. Now, as I try to make this rotate around, notice in Europe, down here south of India, down here, south of Africa. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. And as we approach the eastern shores of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, really, do you really have to be a scientist to see that there is something going on here? Something big. Something very big, ladies and gentlemen. And it's certainly on the increase, certainly on the rise, certainly growing deeper. Certainly, these fault lines are feeling the inner pressure, ladies and gentlemen. Now, make no mistake about it. It isn't going to stop. It's only going to continue. And as we see how the southern part of the planet is being pulled, we see all these deep quakes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Poleshift is approaching. And our warning is the particle cloud. This particle cloud that is approaching, it is a warning. I believe it's a warning. And I don't know if you've heard the new trumpet sounds that came from Alexandria, Egypt on the 15th. I've been trying to decipher by slowing up and speeding up the sound of the trumpets to see if I can hear anything. But you can definitely tell it is the sound of a shofar. There's preparations being made. Now I'm going to try to show you this video, so let me see what I can do. Okay, here it comes. Watch this now. Here's the Earth. Get out of the way. This is the ecliptic plane. Sun. Object. Watch the Earth. Watch it tilt. Pole shift. See it pulling it southwest. Pulling it southwest. Fight stops the rotation. Flip pulls us over as the two approach one another. And then returning to some sense of normality. But, ladies and gentlemen, so now you see, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm talking about. Now this one's gone almost 30 minutes or more, and I don't apologize for that. I'm trying not to make them go that long. But this is information that you just had to have. There's no way out of it. You just have to have it. But what you have to do is get this wrapped around your head. That things are on the move. And not looking at the earth and God moving in all of the natural ways that God moves. We have men on this planet who are evil, who are trying to disrupt the planet on their own accord. We haven't even discussed that incoming object of evil. But my next video is going to be very interesting because I have something to show you that nobody's talking about. I don't know what's going to happen when I talk about it, but I have something to talk about. It's very interesting the day before Christmas Eve. I really do love you, ladies and gentlemen. I care for each one of you. And I ask you to please make sure that your heart and your soul is ready to meet Jesus. Now, you might laugh at that, and that's fine. But you're going to happen. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess. It's either going to be good or bad. And when it's bad, it's going to be very bad. And when it's good, it's going to be very good. You know, we can laugh it off and say, well, you know, there's just some crazy people on cough medicine. But the facts are real. The Poleshift is at the door. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. Nobody really knows how the earth is going to really react. All guesstimations, speculation. But what is not speculation, ladies and gentlemen, is the Bible and the book of Revelation. And these things are forecasted, ladies and gentlemen. They shall come to pass. Whatever causes it, how it happens, don't matter. What matters is, will you be ready, ladies and gentlemen? Will you be ready? Well, I'm not a pre-tribber. I don't believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. Yeah? Okay, well, that's fine. Then you sure better be ready. You're the ones of all the people in all the world that should really be ready. Because if you think for 1 minute it's going to be an easy skirt to get through to the midpoint or even to the Battle of Armageddon, you are completely delusional. Myself, I have to be ready at all times. And you need to be ready at all times too. Now, I don't preach like I used to. Nobody wants me anymore. They think I'm on cough medicine or something. You know, even my best friends cut my head off. But I'm bringing you the truth. If you don't like it, you don't need to watch it. You just click on it. But don't forget the description at the bottom of this video. I'm going to have a description. I'll try to put it in that you can go to BPEarthWatch. You can watch it. Watch his video. You can pause the video and get the name and Google it and go to his website in case I can't get the description in the box. And please subscribe. Please subscribe to these guys. Give them a listen. And as far as your life in Jesus, you should give it a consideration. Because time, very, very short.
Yes, he is. Well, the Lord is coming to take us away. I said the Lord is coming to take us away. Jesus will return someday. Yes, he will. I said the Lord will descend from on high with a shout. I said the Lord will descend